You are listening to the Unleashed and Aligned podcast, where we strip away the noise, unleash our truth, and align with our highest self. I'm your host, Coach Felicia, a life coach, energy guide, and your biggest believer. Now let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the Unleashed and Aligned podcast. June is Pride Month, but before we celebrate with rainbow flags, let's remember where it started. On the night of June 27th in 1969, people gathered at the Stonewall Inn in New York, a known gay bar, to dance, to breathe, to just be. That night of joy turned brutal when police raided the bar, dragging people into the street and arresting them simply for expressing who they were. The community rose up. For 6 days, they protested, resisted, and refused to be erased. A year later, on June 28, 1970, the first Pride March was held in New York City, not just as a celebration, but as a commemoration of the fight for dignity and disability. Pride Month is now recognized around the world, a time to celebrate, yes, but also remembrance, education, and action. And that's just what we're going to do on the Unleash and Align podcast this month. I want to break down what LGBTQ plus means. So the L is for lesbian, and that is women loving women. The G is for gay, often used for men, but can apply to anyone who's same gender attracted. B is for bisexual, people that are attracted to more than one gender. T is for transgender, those whose gender identity differs from the sex that they were assigned to at birth. Q is for queer or questioning, for anyone who doesn't fit the norms or someone still exploring. And then there's the plus. There's the AI, which is asexual and intersexual. And then the plus, now I might not have all of them, but I believe it's non-binary, pansexual, and two spirits. So the asexual is experiencing a little or no sexual attraction. Intersexual is somebody that's born with physical traits that don't fit typical definitions of male or female. And this can be variations in anatomy, chromosomes, or hormone levels that don't fit traditional male or female definitions. It is possible to have intersex traits and not know it until later in life, such as during puberty. Maybe it's having fertility issues. If you suspect that you are intersexual, it's best to consult a healthcare professional because you could have some discomfort, chronic pain, or health issues that are associated with that as well. Non-binary is someone who doesn't identify as just male or female. Pansexual is attracted to people regardless of gender. And two spirits is a new one for me, it's a new term for me. And it's a sacred cultural identity in many indigenous communities that holds both masculine and feminine spirit. And I just wanted to go over and clarify some terms that maybe you're unfamiliar with. And I'm sure that you're familiar with sex and gender, but sex is about your body and genitalia. Gender identity is how you feel inside. Gender expression is how you show that identity to the world, and sexual orientation is who you're attracted to. So these aren't new ideas. They've existed in cultures across the globe for centuries. What's new is giving people the language and the safety to name their truth. Not all LGBTQ plus experiences are the same, and I want to note that. Race, class, ability, culture, religion, they all shape how somebody moves through the world as a queer person. You might include, because of this, I wanted to have people on from all walks of life, from all different cultural backgrounds, to share their experience, their stories, ask them questions, and understand that just because you're part of a community doesn't mean everybody has the same point of views. The guests that I have, I'm super excited about. I'm excited to share their stories and share their experiences with you on this podcast in the following episodes. I wanted to honor ALOK whom is a powerful non-binary poet, artist, and truth teller. Their words are a guidepost for liberation. And if you have not checked them out, I highly encourage you to check the show notes. I have links to some of my favorite artists, activists, and creators. And ALOK is by far one of the top. So on the Man Enough podcast, ALOK shares something profound. They said, I am not just changing the binary between man and women. I'm changing the binary between us and them. When you say, how can I help them? You've already separated yourself from the struggle. The reason you don't fight for me is because you don't fight for yourself fully. People like me who are visibly gender nonconformant carry the brunt of the collective shame people carry about femininity, creativity, softness, and nonconformity. Don't help me protect me. Help yourself get free. Pride is not about saving someone else. It's about asking, what have I been taught to repress in myself? Where have I traded truth for comfort? Where can I become more whole, not just more woke? So how do we honor Pride Month in a way that's real? We can learn people's pronouns and use them. Speak up when you hear homophobia, transphobia, or harmful jokes. Support queer creators, business, and youth. Reflect on your own relationship with gender and identity. And most of all, listen more than you speak. This isn't just a them issue. Liberation is collective. When one of us gets free, we all get a little closer to freedom. I wanted to talk about a little bit about why pride still matters. Even though there have been major legal and cultural strides, LGBTQ plus people still face higher rates of violence and discrimination, especially against trans women of color, barriers to healthcare and housing, mental health struggles, ongoing political attacks on the LGBTQ plus rights, especially in schools and legislation. Pride isn't just about celebration. It's still a protest, a reclaiming of space, and the declaration of we are here, we matter, and we are not going back. So I want to acknowledge some of my favorite activists, actors, creators, comedians. Luke Van Minnen is one of the ones that I just spoke about, poet, a comedian. If you listen to their work, your mind's going to be blown. This person is incredible. Kristen Key is another comedian that I will link in the notes. How can we forget about John Von Ness, JVN, Cody Rigsby, who is a fitness instructor, dancer, actor, and his birthday was on June 8th. So happy birthday, happy belated birthday, Cody. He is incredible. Leo Seppi is another digital creator and host of the Aware and Aggravated podcast, and he is amazing. Dylan Carlino is a comedian. Alicia Roth-Weigel is author of Inverse Cowgirl. She's a speaker and activist, and her work is amazing. ALOK endorsed Alicia's Inverse Cowgirl book and wrote, in a society that continuously reduces intersex existence to a theory or metaphor, Inverse Cowgirl is a powerful intervention that affirms the dignity and full humanity of intersex people. Alicia Roth-Weigel establishes herself as an essential voice for autonomy and democracy. So in closing, I want to say pride is about joy. Pride is about protest. Pride is about healing, the kind that ripples outward when we stop asking, how do I fix them? And start asking, where can I set myself free? You don't have to have all the answers. You do have to be willing to see people, not as who you think they should be, but as who they already are. That's where love begins. And I want to end this with another amazing quote from ALOK about when you mess up on a pronoun. So ALOK is referring to somebody that was talking about being nervous about pronouns, saying it wrong. And I'm going to read from the transcript of how they responded. What we do then is say, I'm sorry, I'm learning. It won't happen again. And then if it happens again, say, I'm sorry, I'm going to try even harder. And that's what love is for me, trying harder for each other. And I absolutely love that. So let's all try a little harder for each other. All right. I will see you in the next podcast where we have more amazing guests on this June Pride Month in support of our LGBTQ plus community. See you in the next podcast. Bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review so that we can connect with more people to develop our mind, body, and spirit.